So you guys remember Frank, right? Well, you know the flowerhorn that we got, he's in the 100-gallon underneath the 375 in that room. We also got him a new little wife. You'll also remember that we quarantined her and then added her to the aquarium with her. We built a divider. This exact divider. We put this, it still smells like a fish tank. Over the past few days, I've been noticing that while it was in the tank, every other day it was kind of like moved over a little bit more. Frank and Francine, his wife or his girlfriend or whatever they might end up being, on the other side, they're kind of facing each other. I'm thinking, oh, great, Frank's trying to get at her. However, I had built this to be super tight in there. I was worried that I was gonna really scratch up the tank or ruin it trying to get it out. But Frank must have been just banging on it every day. Yesterday, I walked in the gallery and I noticed that it was moved way more than it usually was, and she wasn't in there. Which, of course, I immediately panicked thinking, oh great, Frank got to her, he's killed her. If you guys remember, the size difference is absolutely astronomical. Plus, Frank's not that nice of a flowerhorn. He's great with us, but you put him in with another fish, and he just kills them. That's not the case. I noticed they were just getting along on the other side, constantly swimming together, and just in general, having a good time. Look at the size difference between them. The weird thing about this is that Frank technically never really gets along with anything, yet I think quarantining her and separating them for so long made Frank get used to her in the water, they ate together, etc. Now, last night, I'll admit, I was really nervous, kept checking on them, but these two are getting along just fine. Who knows what's gonna happen next, but don't they look hilarious together? Oh, wow. I don't know. I know this is a silly video to make, and I'm extremely busy right now, which we're going to get to in a moment, what I've actually been up to in the past few days and why there was no video yesterday. I figured I can throw this together really quickly because it's actually pretty exciting considering we were going to have to wait months for her to put on size. These guys are getting along just fine for the past couple of days. She has no torn fins, nothing wrong with her at all. In fact, look at her just take a little peck at Frank. That was interesting. Typical woman. I'm kidding. Don't roast me in the comments, girls. Yeah, so anyways, of course, I had to show you guys. It's pretty exciting to see those guys getting along. I'm excited to see what happens in the near future. If you are as well, if you want to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of those videos, make sure you do because the Frank videos are pretty sporadic. 2000? Well, the lights are just coming on now, so... But it's looking absolutely stunning. The arowana look fantastic in it. I mean... once the lights come on fully, we'll of course see them a little bit better. She's got some damaged fins and some healing there. That's what those bumps are. But yeah, this looks fantastic. Little stingray pile down there right now. I don't know, you guys seem to love this scape, and I do as well. It looks fantastic from every angle. Finally. Isn't that beautiful? I hope you guys really like this. This was a lot of fun making. You know, I guess back to Frank and his girlfriend here. I guess the only thing that kind of bothers me is I really wanted to remove the barrier and they're just having a little snack right now. Remove the barrier and introduce these guys to each other in front of your guys' eyes type of thing. But, you know, I think it's pretty awesome that Frank took the barrier down by himself and did his own introductions. I think we'll add like some flower pots or something to this tank here shortly. Just give them something to lay eggs on if that's going to happen. I don't think she's reached sexual maturity at this point. I think the main focus here is just paying attention to them, making that sure that Frank doesn't kill her and that they remain safe while they're together. But I don't know, love to get your guys' thoughts and ideas on this tank too. Another thing that I want to do here shortly, because I just found all of my data that I've been... One thing I also want to do here shortly is how it was all made. I've never shown how the 375 was made. Well, we did little clips on Instagram and Facebook. I want to run you through the history of that tank. The 2,000-gallon aquarium, take you step by step how this was created. I never wanted to do step by step because at the time when this was all happening, because it would have took months in order to give you a complete look, but now that everything's done, we can truly go from when the floor was bare up until what we see today. I still gotta find all the footage to make that happen, but if that's something you wanna see, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. I also wanna give you guys breakdowns and updates of every tank, how they started and how they are today. Those are just little things I've been thinking about doing anyways, but a lot of these fish have been in the tanks for months now, so it's bound to do an update. There's also a few other things that I'm working on we'll get to eventually in the future, but what I'd like to do is make sure that there are both update worthy as well as educational. So if there's anything you want to make sure that I include in those types of videos, make sure you let me know in the comments section below so we can actually do it. Now, the reason why I'm kind of dressed like this. Whoo, she's hot out today, but the gallery is nice and temperature controlled. No video yesterday for a simple reason. Yesterday morning, I was up at about 8 o'clock in the morning. I got up, I used the bathroom downstairs. None of your business what I do in the morning, but it's important to tell you that part. And it's also important for me to state that it was only a P. What you're about to see was not a number 2 that caused this. Anyways, it's a pretty old toilet. This it came with the house. I was going to replace it like I did with my bathroom upstairs, but the back of it cracked all the way down. You see that? Now when you flush a toilet, it's going to try to fill itself back up. So this was trying to fill itself back up for about 10 hours, but that water wasn't filling the tank. It was gushing out onto the floor. So for about 10 hours, my basement was filling up with water on the floor to the point where it was ankle deep throughout my entire basement, about 1,000 square feet. I don't know how many gallons that is. I challenge one of you to figure out how many gallons that is. 6 inches of water, 1,000 square feet. I've been at this for since yesterday. It's been 24 hours of sucking up water and trying to get this fixed up. But you guys will remember that I also flooded my basement before. That was caused by fish tanks, at least. At least that's like a justifiable reason. I'm still kind of walking through water here. As you can see, the floor's been mostly ripped up. I'm still working on it. I gotta tear up this entire floor, dry it out, and I gotta lay a new floor this weekend. Yeah, so while you guys are out enjoying the sun, I'm gonna be trapped in my basement sweating, laying floors that I should have laid in the first place, but when I flooded it, and I told you guys I have to replace my floors because of that flooding, I never actually did. I put it off, I dried it all. I was like, man, it looks fine. The floors were actually so buckled in places, they were floating by about 6 inches or so. I'd step on them and it was almost like I was on a surfboard. It was so bad down here. Luckily, there's not too much damage. It's just flooring. It's all just cheap laminate flooring. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it, but that's my weekend. Yeah, that's basically why there was no video yesterday. I was dealing with flooding and that sort of deal. There was a few other videos I was working on, just had to stop them to deal with that, but you guys will understand. The gallery is looking absolutely fantastic though. I can't wait to bring you guys through it. I know there's many new viewers here as well as of late, and what I'd like to do for you guys in an upcoming video here shortly is give you guys a tour of the entire gallery, break it down for you, show you where everything is, introduce you to all the aquariums, because I know that this can be somewhat confusing at times, and one of the biggest confusing things is people think this is my house. No, this is a dedicated building. My house is over there, the gallery is here. Maybe we'll do a tour of both at some point. Let me know if that's something you guys want to see. Ultimately though, I gotta get back inside, finish ripping up that floor. You guys will be watching this as I'm sweating in my basement. I hope you guys have a better weekend than I do.